Welcome to episode one of The Door is Still King. Today we've got a guest we're really looking forward to sitting down with. We're joined by Kane Hammondtree, the CEO of Solve Energy, one of the fastest growing solar installation companies in Western Canada. Kane's been a big part of scaling the operational side of this industry, working behind the scenes on what actually makes solar companies run and grow. We're going to get into his story, how Solve was built, and then really break down what it takes to build and scale in this space. Kane, appreciate you coming on.
Hell yeah, fellas. I appreciate you having me. I'm excited.
Welcome, welcome.
Look forward to it. I look forward to it. So yeah.
We got to be ourselves. This is our first one for anybody listening. And we're just, I'm not wearing underwear. Like, let's just have fun, boys, with this. We want to really lean into it. For people who don't know you yet, like, who is Kane?
Currently, right now, I'm CEO at Solve Energy. We also have the roofing division as well. I'm a father with another one on the way, another little boy on the way. I'm married, live in Victoria, BC, born and raised here. That's kind of who I am right now. We can dive into kind of story and stuff like that, but kind of, that's my
That's perfect. That's your elevator. Who is Kane? Quinn and I know a bit, but what were you doing before before you started your company, Solve?
kind of a random story. When I was 18 years old, I moved to California. So I lived in Victoria, BC. I was born and raised here. I actually was like not doing too good. I was in and out of, I was getting into crime and stuff like that and with the bad people. And so I was like, okay, great, got to make a change. And so I decided I'm going to move to Los Angeles. My parents are dual. And so it was like the next biggest city that was like glamorized and like super cool. So I saved up about 10 G's and I moved to LA when I was 18. When I got there, I was like, oh man, this is like pretty expensive. I got to figure it out fast. So I went door to door selling like window cleaning and pressure washing and rain gutter cleaning, like just gutter services. Started picking that up. It started going pretty well. And I basically ramped it up where by the summertime, had about 10 people working. We had about 6 crews with how we structured it, but it was just like all door to door at that point. So it was like door to door. I took a flyer, I knocked on the door, I had my elevator pitch. Hey, how's it going? We're in the area. We're offering a quick service since we're doing your neighbor's house. Because of that, we can give you a discount on your windows and gutters. Do you want a free quote? Boom, give them the quote. If the homeowner's not home, I dropped a flyer. And it's like quickly you start ramping up and getting work. And while doing the work, you knock again. And while doing the work, you ask for review. And it just kind of compounds from there. Because one thing I realized, I was like, oh, I need to actually take this money and use it, put it to work. So I just ended up investing in marketing. And so we were doing that, plus, the other. Long story short, 6 years later, was doing the window cleaning with 3 failed businesses along that. COVID hit. And I decided to sell the company. I was just like, I was done with Los Angeles. I was like, not looking to do it anymore. But right before COVID hit, I actually got connected with someone. His name's Zane Jan. He owns Better Earth Solar. And basically, they were like, hey, we should pitch solar to your clients. I had a client base of about 2,500 people. And they're like, hey, let's pitch solar to your clients. And I was like, this is a great idea. I sent a blast to my clients, started making a requirement for all our guys to ask if people want solar quotes on the job while cleaning windows. And so the person who asked that would then tee it up for a closer to come and grab the bill and meet him. And so,
I got to pause that. I got to ask. You said the word crime. Crime is interesting to me. I don't know if you're open to if you're open to sharing what I'm lucky enough we're buddies. I know you. We love that we partner with Solve. But when we were golfing, it's actually an interesting part of you. Like I don't see a guy who ever did crime. That's why I think it's funny.
But yeah, we worked on it a lot of personal enhancement, a lot of personal improvement. But I have so much love for them. But my family, like, they're just, getting in and out of it. I have just like a history in my family of like drug addiction. Don't want to talk negatively about anyone, but lost some family to drug addiction. They were in and out of crime themselves. I got into it like early. So when I was about 15 years old, I started doing drugs myself and getting into crime. By the time I was 17, I had armed robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, and 2 assault charges on my record. And there were 4 felonies, It wasn't like, shoot, you stole from the grocery store, which I also did and got caught for, but it was like you had 4 felonies on your record. The moment you turn 18, these drop. If you do it again when you're 18, these stick. So what's your choice? If I turned 18, I bounced because I was like, I know I'm going to get into this again. But yeah, I was just like, just in and out of trouble, fights, with drug dealing, basically everything you could think of, I was doing. I was smoking, I was snorting, and so on. And so,
I love it though, because what was the pivot? What was the change? I know you're saying 18, but like something internally must have been like, okay, I need to course correct, and I want better, more a fuller life, perhaps. But yeah, what was like the pivot for you to go? I'm shaking that because that's still young. Like you're a kid to make that kind of choice. So
dude, well, I mean, it was honestly this. It was My uncle overdosed and died, like literally was like my brother, and lived. So we lived house. He lived in our house for my whole life, and then he moved next door to our house for like a few months, OD'd on cocaine mixed with Oxycontin. And I was just like, oh wow, that definitely hit. And then like I ended up going on a bender, doing drugs, drinking, ended up getting charged twice with assault when I already had assault with a deadly weapon and armed robbery on my record. And so they're basically like, yeah, like your next one, you're going to jail for a long time. And I just was like, huh. And they also kind of basically told me also be on your record. And I knew I wanted like some different. I knew I wanted some more. I remember going to like Hillside Mall after work one time and going to the library, bowling books. And I bought a book, How to Become a Millionaire. I'm sitting there reading. I don't even know what I'm reading. I didn't even fucking,
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm doing. So, but it was just like some click. So I was like, okay, what I'm doing now is not working. I need to do something else. And all this book talked about was mindset, mindset, mindset. And I was like, okay, mindset, mindset, mindset. So that was that. So it kind of clicked. It was like, okay, really bad. I need to go. I need to at least just do it. I need to give it a shot. And so LA was it. LA was where I was going. And yeah, that was it. Save the money. She left on New Year's Day. I was gonna stay over for New Year's Day. All my buddies went to a party that night. Legit, they got into a massive a brawl outside, and four of them ended up getting charged with assault. And at that point, I would have already been 18. And I was like, hallelujah. That's like the pre any sort of realization or kind of like come to Jesus moment of I need to do something different.
There's something about changing environments, hey? Changing environments when you need to, fresh starts, new beginnings, new mindset. It actually pushes us to be better. I almost like encourage all of us to like wonder if it's the environment we're in or if it's us. Sometimes we're allowed to say, maybe it's the environment. Pack your bags, get the F out of there and go somewhere new. And then you get tested again, right? Like get new skill sets that come out. You're on your own and you're forced to figure it out, especially as a young dude at 18. It's cool.
I mean, I think it's one of the most valid, like it's one of the biggest therapies I think you can have. It's like you're in an environment, toxic people, bad stuff all the time, can't escape. You go somewhere else, it's not there anymore unless you force yourself back in there. And so when I left, I quit literally the day I left, December 31st, 2015. I never touched drugs again, ever. I don't drink right now. I don't do anything. And so it was like, I just was like, because I'm not there anymore, I don't have to do it. And then so I started reading books, started getting into, these gurus, stuff like that, and just like bracing everything. And was best.
I love that you share that part because there's so many young dudes that are like, and I mean, this is men and women, but like young males that want to change their lives, that want to get into sales, that are stuck in certain places and environments. Them hearing that you can go, I love your tag. I went from squeegee to CEO, but squeegee to what? It's so good.
Built 80, yeah, started the squeegee.
I love it.
But no, totally. I mean, it's like we live in a good country. Hey, Canada or not, it's a great country. You can go out there, you can make some of yourself. It's like the US. It's like it's just the same thing. So there's no barrier there. And I was in and out of foster care. I spent probably half of my teenage years in foster care. There's no like no requirement to be born into anything. It's just like, dude, you got to decide. It's all up to you. There's no one who's going to create this future that you.
People are not going to like me for this. I'm going to ask, like some people, oh, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. You at a young age were like, I am not one. I'm going to go do something about my life. What is the difference between you and others that see themselves as victims?
Fuck, I mean, okay, you're a victim. Now what? Like, what are you going to do now? It's like, okay, you're a victim. Now what? Are you going to stay a victim? So I get it. You're a victim. Had all this bad stuff happen to me. It's so bad, blah, blah, blah. Okay, no, that makes sense, man. Now what?
Yeah, Tony and I talk about this. Tony Robbins says this thing. He's just like, if all the bad shit in the world happened to you, fine. But by the time you're 30, he just like, I love that he puts a date and time on it. By the time you're 30, it's your fault and it's your problem. And there's something about taking full responsibility at a certain time in your life and saying, whatever happens after this moment, now it's on me. I can't blame grandparents, parents, circumstance, environment. And I've always abided, but I've always loved that. So getting your story is pretty sweet because fully aligned with it.
100%.
Right?
No, 1,000%. I completely agree. I almost think it's earlier. Like for me, I just basically crammed a bunch of really hardcore lessons in a short amount of time. It might take 10 to 20 years to get hit with some lessons and go, oh, all right, not going to do that. It doesn't feel too good anymore.
Okay, let's pivot a bit. So what was the moment or opportunity that led to you starting Sol? You're in LA, hold the business, but what was the moment of opportunity? Yeah, something that was the inflection point for you starting Sol that you're open to share.
When I had the window cleaning company, right before I was about to sell it, I partnered up, with Better Earth and we started selling solar to my clients. And I was like, I really like this. Homeowner saves money, adds value, environment, cool product, growing industry, great commission. Like there was so much benefit. I didn't feel like that when I was cleaning windows. I was like, I'm just cleaning the windows. It's not like I'm a part of this cool new industry that's growing and expanding, great commission, helping people. I just like, there was some about that that stuck with me. So I sold my company. I actually moved to Tampa for like 3 months. And I was like, I heard Florida's booming. I heard that's the place to be to do real estate. And I went there and I was going to start flipping houses. And I started cold calling people to start flipping houses. I was like, I fucking hate this. I literally am calling Betty Lou, who's 84 years old in foreclosure, lowballing her house so I could flip it. Her family home for 50 years. I was like, this sucks. When I was solar, I was like pitching all of these great things, pitching a product I believed in, pitching a product that I felt like was like exciting. It just like isn't the same. So I actually had a property under contract, canceled the contract, lost a little bit of money on it. But I was like, I don't care. I saw that Canada had just cracked open the GHL and the rebate. And I was like, there's something going on up there. So I always loved the Pacific Northwest. I always loved it up in Vancouver and Victoria. So I was like, all right, we're setting our eyes on Vancouver. Told my wife, packed her bags, and within a week, we moved out of Florida. And we just left our spot. We literally drove from Tampa all the way up. So we drove all the way up, got to Vancouver. We rented a spot in Vancouver, sight unseen. Ended up being a good spot. We were super lucky. I had money from my company I sold. So when I sold it, I got like kind of like a royalty plan. So I always paid royalty payments for like years. And so it's like I never paid myself a paycheck until basically almost a year and a half into Solve. And year one, we lost a ton of money. We can get into that if we want. But it was like I was just set up. So I was like, I'm going there 100% all in. This is all I'm fucking doing. So went up there and here we are. Started solving.
You put a picture of it. So you're driving. This is like a 40 hour drive from Tampa. You got your wife with you. It's almost like tunnel vision. What were the conversations like in the car with your spouse? Kind of like you're starting over again, you know? And it's like, what moment you're in a car with someone who you love, and it's like there's nothing more intimate. So
totally. No, I mean, honestly, it's like have so much love for her. She's just always been like, whatever you're doing, I 100% back you up. I have no questions. I will just follow you blindly. And so like for me, that was like so much help because it was like I didn't have to worry about like constantly convincing her. It was just like, this is what we're doing next. And she's like, okay. And she just trusted. She's like, I just trust. He might be a little bit crazy. What he says might be a little nuts. But I just trusted. Like it was like obviously we were in LA, lived there for 8 or 9 years, and I had convinced her, let's move to Florida, which we moved to Florida. I was there for 3 months. And I was like, we're actually gonna move again to Canada, different country, hey? And she was like, okay, let's go. And so packed the stuff and hit the road. And honestly, it's not even like, it's just we kind of wear the family roles, you know, like she wears the spouse hat, you know, and I wear the husband hat where I'm like, I will make sure you're all good. And you just make sure we got a good space. You know, things are good. That was it. So we came out to Canada, but man, I didn't have like an idea of what was next. Like I just had an idea of this is all I was doing and there's nothing else. So if it failed, well, I'm gonna have to figure some out because I don't have a plan B and I'm dumping every dollar I have and I moved to a different country and I have no one up there.
So is that why it worked? No one cuts the anchor. They don't cut the ties to the pier, right? Or like they don't cut the rope and just commit. And so do you think that played a part in the, setting sail and just making sure it worked? You had no backup.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, I love the quote. It's pretty extreme. And we're going to have it in our Vancouver office and our Victoria office and fucking every office. Literally burn the boats. It's like you get to shore. You got to go in. You got to take down the enemy. The boats are on shore. You could always just turn back around. Let's burn the fucking boats. We're taking this castle. That was just the mentality. It was like, I'm burning the boats. I've cut all my, like, everything. I didn't, like, leave it on a bad note when I left the States. I just was like, I'm doing this. All in on this. So just, like, even just a quick little crazy thing, and maybe we'll get into it more, is started Solve in January. I didn't get my first sale till June. And I was only doing Solve. But it was like, I had to learn, girl. I had to figure it out. And there's a lot of things that I did wrong. And now it's like we get a sales guy who comes on, he sells a deal in his first week. We had to figure it out. I was pitching how people pitch in the States. Let's pitch at $450 a watt and all this stuff. First guy I pitched him at $450 a watt. The guy was deaf. So he had a person on the call who would basically hand signal to him the whole thing, pitch $450 a watt. And I said he got the 30% tax credit because I didn't even know that it was just commercial. I thought it was residential as well. So I pitched the guy $450 a watt plus GHL plus grant. Well, didn't end up closing, which is good. But yeah,
In sign language.
yes.
That is so good. There's a news article about, I'll leave the company name out, but there's somebody who bought at $9 a watt and it made national news. So good for you for that one falling through. 450 is not so crazy, but $9, these guys made national news.
Yeah, I know
But
exactly what you're talking about.
But that actually leads us to what we want to know. Like, what were the early days like in Solve? So Quinn and I know that you grinded it out. You were on roofs, and we'd love to hear more about that first initial window of time.
I basically I always tell my guys, I'm like sniper vision, not shotgun. Targets long term. You're not going to pull out the shotgun to shoot long term, long downfield. You're going to pull out the sniper. Okay. When you're thinking goals, you're thinking long term. Pull out the sniper, put the fucking blinders on, and go. And so when I started Solve, it was like I was dabbling a little bit of marketing, and I was also doing a little bit of door knocking, and I was also doing and it was like I was doing all these little things plus doing this that it delayed the actual like first time selling. I started Solve, I went online, registered the business myself, created the logo, and here we go. I actually took a company's website that I liked in Vancouver. I copied it. I hired someone on Fiverr. I said, build this website exactly just with our branding. They ended up hitting me up later being like, what the fuck, man? It was identical. I was like, I don't know what it should look like. And the guy hit me up and he was not happy. And I was like, sue me, bro.
Great artist steal. Remember that famous line.
I mean, it was a great website, dude. It was a compliment. And then that was it, basically. Started knocking doors. I was having difficulty with it. I was getting the pitch. I was literally booking like 5 or 6 appointments a day when I'd go out and knock doors. I'd knock the doors, then I'd sit down and pitch. I didn't really know how to pitch. It was just like roller coaster, roller coaster. Eventually, I had my breakthrough moment where I booked an appointment on Vancouver Island. I was in Vancouver. I drove to the island, pitched the homeowner, closed it. And I was like, wow, that was amazing. So I got my first deal. And it's actually one of like the craziest ones we have. Like if you see on our website, it's the octagon roof. Like, I don't know if you ever seen the photo of that. It's like the octagon metal roof. It looks all crazy. We got it over. We subbed it out to some random company and it ended up being a nightmare. We ended up losing like 10 G's on it. It was a nightmare. We ended up subbing it out to a company that went bankrupt, actually. And it was funny because they were the company I was like, oh, I'm going to partner with and they're going to do our installs. And that was another thing. I was applying the same thing that I thought about in the States where I was like, I'm going to be the sales org and we're just going to sub it out to install companies. And I could not find it for the life of me, a company that would do that. And it was like, I literally called a bunch of companies. I called this one company. We don't really love them too much. And the guy literally answered the phone. He's like, why would I want to take your work, man? We got tons of work. And I'm like, okay, dude, wow, you're amazing, dude. That's crazy. You don't want any work. It just threw me off. And so I was like, okay, great. Well, I have to learn how to install. So I took a 5-day install training course and learned how to install. And then I started doing installs myself and hired people and so on. But there was a lot of losing a lot of money.
And you'd said for how long? Was it like 16, 18 months or something like that you were making $0 pushing this company forward?
Yeah, basically sold my company in September of 2022, started Solve January of 2023, didn't pay myself a paycheck till March of 2024. So I went like 16 months without it. But basically, first job we had. So what happened was once I sold the deal, I was like, oh, I got it. And within that week, I sold 5 more deals. That same month, I sold like 20 deals. And I was just like, oh, I know. I fucking know it now. Once I started selling deals, I'm like, oh, they got to go to install. And with the GHL, how complicated it was, I was offering to help them with. But I didn't know how to help them. I didn't even fucking know how to do it at all. So I basically would jump on a call with them and like walk through it, confidently telling them what to do while not knowing what to do. So they would explain the screen to me and I'd be like, oh yeah, so what you do is this. And man, we effed up so many times. I had clients who would take 6 months to get JHL because I was submitting it wrong with it.
Got to pause you there. There's something there, Q. You heard that. There's something about folks who do not press forward, especially not knowing what to do. And here's Kane going, I will figure it out and I will take the next step, take the next action step, figure it out behind closed doors. Some people go, well, are you lying to your customer? Well, no, I'm figuring it out for my customer. But there's a lot of people, you guys have both know what I'm talking about. There's people that will sit there and be like, well, you're promising things you can't deliver. It's like, well, I'll go, that's actually what I'm going to do for you, delivering for you. Walk me through in your brain what that feeling was like to go like, I need to figure this out for the client that I just sold and I'm learning on the fly.
No, I mean, here's the thing is like, for me, like integrity is huge. And so I sign client up, I'm making sure client makes it and they make it happy. I take care of them and I deliver what we promise. I don't care if I lose money. It's like, I will no matter what, take them through. I don't know if you guys listen to Grant Cardone, but I love his stuff. He says this saying, he says, commit first, figure it out later. It's like, dude, just do it. Okay. Like you do everything you can to learn how to freaking build a tractor or drive a tractor. The moment you get in there and you turn it on, you're like, oh yeah, okay, no, this isn't what I read. It's just like, do it. And so the whole government program was like, I think that the best possible thing to do, and I saw a gap, was these install companies would just let people hang with this GHL. So I was like, okay, great. Well, I'm just going to come in, figure it out, help them do it. Ended up getting some people through. The lady I sold first ended up getting declined for the loan, which honestly was a blessing because then she just paid cash. And I was like, hallelujah. So she just paid cash. And I was like, great. First job was cash. And realized, I don't know if you guys remember, but the GHL, I would sell a job. We wouldn't get paid for 60 to 90 days. So it's like the job still got installed. Everyone got paid. So it's like I'm flowing this job that was sold at $40,000 that cost us like $53,000 to get done because one, I didn't know actual supplier rates. So I got raked over the coals on supplies. And then the sub just like absolutely gave me a run for my money. I was like, okay, well, that didn't feel too well, but I was like, I'm going to get it done. Gonna be fucking happy. Clients can be happy. To this day, clients happy.
Quinn, I gotta ask, do you think people are born with that? Are they born with, I just need to get it done?
100%. Yeah, I think so. It's like, yeah, you can see it. You could see in his backstory, I don't know, I can hear in every single thing that he says. Every single analogy he's talking about are the exact things we talk about, which is really funny. Burn the boats was literally playing in my head before he said it. So it's just, it's really cool. But cool.
Yeah.
Kane, I have a question for you.
Yep.
6 months with no sales and then hitting 20 in 1 month. What changed?
The moment I inked a deal out, I just figured out the script. I figured out the pain point. I figured out, okay, so I have to identify a client's pain point and I have to fucking drive that home. I'm a consultant. I am finding out what their problem is and I'm solving it with what I have. These people are looking in. What was happening was I was getting so much interest because people were interested in solar. But I couldn't like dig deep enough to make them pull a decision. So they're all so excited. Like, this is a great call. Thanks so much for the information. I'm going to think about it. And then they would go look online and find all this bad stuff about solar and be like, yeah, I'll do it later. Or talk to their friend who knew everything about solar, but never knew anything about solar at all. And then I was like, I have to just identify pain, solve that problem. If I don't really do a good discovery, find out that pain, I'm never really going to ink this deal. So once I ink the deal, I just like, it's like that momentum started picking up. You ink one, then all of a sudden a follow-up inks because I hit it with this. And then I sit the next one the next day and inks. And it's like, I'm just one call closing all these people. I'm like, holy moly, this is fucking insane. I literally asked my wife, I was like, you need to quit your job and literally sell because I need to service these jobs because we have so much volume now. But the biggest thing for me was like figuring out this pitch, figuring out this script. Like, obviously it's like, to me, it requires a professional salesman. I look at some of the sales practices in the States and I go, if you just power close Joe, they do a 48% dealer fee, day one savings, but in 18 months, when they don't get the 30% tax credit, their bill doubles and they're not saving. It's not a real like salesman. It's just like, just do the deal. Just sign the fucking deal. And it's like, I feel like here you need true finesse. You actually need to know how to sell. You need to listen to the buyer, identify their pain point, get them to the finish line.
Better salesmen in Canada by 10 to 1 than our American friends down south. That's basically what you're saying. I'm joking. Don't say it. Go ahead.
Kane, a big one we noticed too is pain. Like a lot of BC specifically, there's some forms of pain, but we noticed that ideal outcome is like it's what some people love. Like they're just excited about solar. They just think that it's cool. They want to be a part of the new wave. Like they want to be energy independent. But like, I mean, if your bill's $100 a month, sometimes it's like, it's not that big of a pain and rates haven't increased that much over the last 5 years. So, but solar is so cool and it could still protect you from so much down the line. So it's neat to see that sometimes it is 6-12 months of getting no's. You have to make these slight language tweaks and then all of a sudden you're closing at 35%.
Totally. 100%. No, the dream outcome, like painting the outcome. Cause it's like, you might think, I'm going to drive home pain at a $75 or $150 bill month, month bill. When the guy's got a $7,000 mortgage, that's not his real pain. It might be ego. It might be the neighbor's got it done. It might be, I want to be the cool guy on the block. Get that, let's hit that. Paint the dream outcome. What would it look like? What would it feel like? You put that scenario there. So I completely agree.
Okay, last one, then we'll pivot a bit. But was there ever a time that you're like, oh shit, this is not going to work?
Oh yeah. In May, my wife ended up finding out she was pregnant and, we were like, oh shit. So here we are 5 months deep, have yet to sell a deal. And I find out my wife's pregnant and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Like, do I just need to go get a job? Like, what am I going to do? So that definitely was it. And I just kept going with probably another month and a half until we inked the first deal. Fast forward to December. December, we're installing, let's say, 10 to 15 jobs a month. Every single job is a loss or maybe making like 500 to $1,000 bucks. And I just like can't figure out what's wrong. And then finally, I found out I was being shysted by a couple contractors, called one wholesaler, different wholesaler. They dropped price in half. And I was like, I'm making margin now. But I was like, I can't figure this out. I'm selling at $2.75 a watt and I'm losing money every deal. And then it's like January 4th, 2024, my son's born. And literally, it was so funny. I remember the day. Obviously, I remember the day, but like my son was born at 7 a.m. in the morning. I was on work meetings by 8:30. My wife didn't even say anything. She was just like, yeah, that makes sense. I remember talking to a guy on the phone. He's like, how are you? I'm like, oh, great. I just have my son, it's beautiful. Oh, nice. How old is he? I'm like, no, like he was born at 7 a.m. And it was like at 9 a.m. I was on a call. He's like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, he was born like 2 hours ago. And he was just like, so he's like, I took 3 weeks off. I'm like, fuck, dude, I can't, and I got like 3 jobs going on at the same time. And I'm like, these have to make it. I had about 175 Canadian like in saving. It was all burned by then. And I was 150 G's in debt by December of 2023. And I had yet to still pay myself a fucking dollar. I was getting like 3 to 5 grand a month in royalties from the cleaning, just covering my bills. Finally, breakthrough. It was like that week we installed a job, 40% profit. And I was just like, oh my God, okay, great. Little trickle. And then it started to snowball from there, started to find the rhythm, but it fucking hurt. I never had more stress in my entire life, from moving to LA, going all in, doing all this stuff than that year. So yeah.
I love that. I love that word stress. You know what I mean? Is it that you have built a tolerance up? Is it something you're born with? Like, Quinn and I know, and we talk about this daily, weekly, monthly, but what is it about some folks that go, I'm stressed out of my mind. I'm going to continue forward and still find the energy to do it, let alone have a baby an hour before and you're out there working again. It's a question for people to ask themselves. This is not for everybody. And I'm not even saying solar. I'm just saying like being an entrepreneur, going out on your own, making something happen. It's not for everyone. I actually don't suggest it for everyone. I think it's not for everyone. I'll just leave it there. But I love that, King.
100%. I mean, it's a lonely, stressful journey. And it's fucking lonely. Like, it's just so funny. It's like, there's not really many people I could talk to at all about the day-to-day things that are going on, because it's like, well, one, I have to be the boss and make sure everyone's good. My wife is being the wife. There's no one I could talk to about it. It's just like, dude, you got to figure it the fuck out. And it's just you. When everything is crashing and burning, there is just you, unfortunately. So are you going to keep going? And so it's like, same thing with obviously like starting a business. It's like, you have to be able to assess risk and just be able to just take it to the chin 500 times in a row and just go, okay, cool. This next one, I'm going to land a shot. It's like, that's just it. Or you quit. Now what? Now what are you going to do? I always like the analogy. It's like, now what? It's like, okay, you quit. Now what? Are you going to go work a job? Okay, great. Sounds good. There's no problem with that at all. It's just, now what? Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, that's sweet. It's totally like, it's just built different. I think that's like the best part. And that's all that I keep hearing. It's like the little brother in me. It's like, and when we talk about these things, it's so funny. It's the same stuff from totally different circumstances, leading people down similar paths, which is pretty cool. And then you probably want that too, because at the end of the day, you're like, it's lonely, but it's like the path we choose on purpose. Even though we hate it, we love it. And it's just like this crazy dichotomy of everything. So pivoting a little bit, Kane, going into more like where we're at now in the market. So currently, from your vantage point, like what's actually happening in the solar industry right now up in BC and Canada, Western Canada?
Okay, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an analogy. The US, Australia, the market penetration of how many people have solar or have adapted solar is in the low 20%. Okay, so 20% of the market is adapted solar. In Canada, 0.02. Okay, 0.2. Not even 1%, not even 2%, 0.02. So you go, oh, wow. Like, you got this curve that's going to go up like this. And we're just like, it's just starting to go like this. And among this Mount Everest, there's a little JHL 108. No, just watch what's coming. I mean, just even like one other thing is like residential installs for solar have 4x'd since 2019. We're actually seeing like a huge up curve, and it's just starting to happen. Here's another like fun fact for you. Canadian solar market is projected by 2030 to nearly triple where it is today in every province, not just here. So it's like we're in the fastest growing energy sector in Canada, and obviously we look around the world and we look what's happened. The world is adopting solar. The roof, the grounds, The sun hits it all day. I don't think the sun's going away. If it is, I mean, we are too. So it's like, let's capitalize on it, you know? So, what do I think it is? I think that slight up curve has just started to turn. It's not even like a full, it's just like a little tick. I think we're in a good place. And I think the government rebates, they'll come and go, but that doesn't matter. It's like people will adapt it. People will enjoy it. People will want to create their own electricity. You'll get a point where you're going, all right, well, I own my home, I own my car. Electricity is important. Why don't I own that? Why do I want to rely on the grid? Why do I want to rely on others? My family security. I don't see that going away as something that we, you know, don't want. So
Totally. And on your guys' end, how was it having greener homes loan go away at first and then also now?
so if I was sitting right here, we're doing a morning meeting with the sales execs, sales managers. I got an email saying, "Hey, JHL is going away in 1 week," and I'm just like, and it's funny because I had nightmares about it for like years, like the last couple of years, because it's like people were like, "Oh, what are you going to do when the rebates go away?" I'm like, I don't know. Is the market going to dry up? Are we going to die? When that happened, I was a little bit nervous, but it's like I just kind of that thing kicked in. It's like, okay, well, now what? Now what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, great. We're fucking adopting. We're changing everything. We're removing it from everything. We're all in. Burn the boats. We're going in. And so it was honestly a little scary. It took like 4 or 5 days for us to get our first sale. Once the first non-JHL sale happened, boom, we skyrocketed after that. So, we were selling on average about 170 to 180 projects a month. When the JHL went away, we dropped to 120, but our realization rate skyrocketed. So it's like it was the mix of, oh, are we even losing more? And we look at last month's sales, our realization rate is like in the high 80s, low 90s. And with the amount of sales, we sold 104 projects last month. But with realization rate before, like 40 to 50%, we're actually like almost more than we were before. So, and more profitable than ever because we're not getting cancels and dealing with these headaches and so on and so on. But for a period of time, it was fucking scary.
Yeah, totally. So from your perspective, where's the real money being made right now in solar?
To me, I mean, for me, it's resi. For me, it's resi solar, just standard solar. Higher margins as a sales rep. It's easier to sell. It's structured. It's cookie cutter. It's scalable. It's not like I'm having to focus and plan and electrical engineer and do all these things to build out a project to then bid against another company who's going to drop margins to nothing and be fine with making small margins. So it's like it's in providing the homeowner with a custom plan because it's a little bit more work, but at the end of the day, it allows you to make more money at the end of the day. So I think resi install is where the highest margins are being made, both from the sales rep and the installer. But when you get into commercial, it's like, okay, sure, you have a guy on site for a month, but you're only making 15% margin.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've actually been going back and forth on that a lot, like the commercial side of things. So in the like next say 5, 10 years, do you guys have any ambition to adopt a little bit more commercial, or is it just like stay clear, stay focused, residential is where it's at?
Definitely do. It's not like we want to encompass solar. We want to be the solution for solar and battery storage across Canada. So we don't just want to, pigeonhole ourselves to just resi. But right now the focus is to grow as fast as possible with resi. So we have the resources to expand into commercial. So we have the resources to hire the people to get into commercial. In my opinion, you need a lot more qualified people to bid commercial projects profitably so you don't lose a bunch of money or you never win a bid. And so we definitely have a plan to do that. But it's kind of like that sniper vision, shotgun vision. It's like when you throw a guy on resi, you throw a guy on commercial. Now you take the commercial guy who's been working commercial forever and you throw him on resi, he's not going to have a good time. It's kind of like staying in the lane, getting so good at resi that it's like, it's lethal. It's dangerous. And at doing that, we definitely plan to get into it. It's just, we plan to do more resi now, and standardize it, cook, really set it up so it's a machine. It's a great area, and I think it will be a huge potential. I just think that we're in a position where it's a little bit more fast too with residential, where a commercial job might take 6 months. Residential job in no building permitted areas could be sold and installed in 2 weeks, and it's like great. Sales rep gets paid fast, company gets paid fast, client's experience is great. So
The thing, it's like a totally different business model from, yeah, it makes sense for sure. And so if someone already understands sales or leadership, where do they have an unfair advantage, in your opinion, stepping into this space?
it's kind of like an open canvas. Okay, let me give you an example. Like guy sells roofs, he can only sell roofs to so many people. On the block, there's only 2 people who need a new roof, but on the block, there's probably 9 people that don't have solar. So you got 9 chances instead of the 2 that need your. The one, your canvas, your area is so big. And 2, obviously your learning curve. It's like you get a guy who comes in out of another industry, wants to get into a new growing industry. He has the ability to have so much turf and territory to hit. And at the same time, it's like you make a lot of money and his learning curve can be little enough. Some of our top closers have come from the car industry, from the heat pump industry, from the high ticket sales industry. And it's like they're coming with experience already. So instead of taking 5 months like me to start selling, they take a week and they get their first commission. For me, I think that's huge. Also, I mean, I'm not sure how you guys are structuring your stuff, but like you can set it up in a way where it's like, you can build a team, you can earn overrides on your team, you can make good money while also helping people make great money too. So there's opportunity there. I just like look at it, you look out on the horizon and you go, look at all those roofs. They're fucking empty.
We both got caught doing that early on. We would be driving around, sending each other photos of roofs and stuff. Be like, this thing's perfect. You just get
That's
obsessed with
South
it.
Basin roof. Like, what's going on here?
Totally. 100%. Yeah, that's really funny. Where do you feel like your biggest advantages or like the most unfair competitive advantage that you have in the marketplace right now? You or Solve?
Great question. I talk about building our moat. I say, want to build this moat. The moat's so big, it's like you just can't even get in. The castle door's there. First thing we have now is obviously we've established a brand. We established a brand where you walk around, you see Solve, it's around. You know what I mean? So that's a huge thing. For us as well, I don't know if other companies are thinking the way we are, but our viewpoint is long term. Our viewpoint is this thing needs to be Canada wide and grow it. What we're doing is we're setting ourselves up, the systems, the automations, the AI, the processes, the everything, where it's like we can just outpace anyone else. Guy right here is happy, doing 20 installs a month, 15 installs a month. And he's slowly getting better. We're like, we're not happy with anything. It sucks. We need to get better. And that's it. You know what I mean? And so it's like now obviously we're offering warranties where it's like, we're offering warranties, install guarantees. We've set ourselves up with dashboards for sales, for ops. We're setting it up basically that the ideal place for someone to come work, the ideal place to partner with, and sell under. That's our goal. It's like, how can we just create the best possible customer experience and sales rep experience and operations experience? And then it's like, okay, great. Well, then our only problem now is just recruit, 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 recruit. I guess where I spend majority of my day these days is looking at how we are not where we are and filling that gap as fast as possible.
Interesting. I have one that just came to me too. If you were to rank like the elements of your business that you have to be involved in, whether it be sales, marketing, ops, install crews, etc. I know it might be a tough one, but how would you rate them from the most important in building a solar business or solar engine that scales to least important?
Well, I would probably say for me, it would probably be number one, in my opinion, is going to be marketing. Well, number one is obviously you want to be a high ethical person, but number one is going to be marketing, and marketing, not just from advertising online, but like advertising period. So that's door to door. It's literally getting appointments. Like that's number one. So whether it's getting your face known online or getting your face known by banging the doors, by doing that, like you generate leads. And so if you suck at sales, if you suck at operations, if you can generate enough lead flow, whether through it's the doors, online, literally from talking to the neighbors, you will get deal flow. So you could sit 50 sits, but if you continue getting sits and you suck at marketing, it's totally fine. You still got 50 sits. And you could just show homeowner price and 5 of them are going to sign up. That to me is priority number one. I'm going to go sales right next. It's like, great. How can you accelerate that even more? You go, I got a bunch of leads. I got a bunch of appointments. I got 20 homeowners who want to sit today. How can I convert them? So now I start converting them. Boom, I accelerate even more. Then I go to ops, which ops is obviously super important, but it's now I'm going to deliver them. Obviously, if we're not delivering at all, we're going to die. But it's like, I'm going to go marketing, sales, ops. I was talking to someone about this. Marketing is getting attention. Okay. That's really what it is. And I actually looked up the definition of attention because I think it's such a cool definition. And it really kind of sings to how important getting attention is. So this is a definition of attention. This is why I think marketing is so darn important and not just ads. So attention is the deliberate allocation of mental energy toward a specific stimulus, idea, or task, filtering out all else. It is the gateway to perception, learning, and action. Force that determines what becomes real in your world and gets ignored. In simple version, it's what you choose to focus on becomes your reality. So let's go deeper. Attention is not passive, it's a scarce controllable resource. Where it goes, perception sharpens, memory forms, decisions are made, outcomes are created. Attention equals no impact. And then the derivation of like attention, like the origin of it. So from Latin, attendere, to stretch towards, add toward, tendere, to stretch. The literal meaning is to stretch the mind towards something. Okay. I know that's like getting so philosophical with it, but I go, if you cannot get attention, you will die. That's literally it. So it's like that's problem number one, whether it's doors, ads, whatever it is. And so I go, get attention, close that attention, get you close right up and close that attention and deliver that attention at the highest level. And from there, build the systems. And so that's really where I go, stack of priorities, because it's like if you can't get attention, well, darn, you're in big doo-doo.
Let's talk sales reps because we were all highly motivated, driven salespeople at one time. So, what's something top 1% closers do that average reps completely miss? Or something that top 1%, yeah, 1% closers, like the best, the best.
Some things are one thing, just some stuff, hey?
Some things, yeah.
Okay, for me, it's going to be calendar utilization. Like a top closer is just going to be in more appointments than anyone else. And that's probably the single biggest differentiator. More appointments than someone else. The guy who's got the most appointments at the end of the day is likely going to be doing the best. Next thing is calendar space to increase calendar U. The guy who's working 8 to 4 and just filling that up compared to the guy who's working 8 to 8, just filling that up. You know what I mean? And so it's like, that's probably number one. Number two after that is going to be, I would say probably the ability to find those indicators, the ability to spark and see, okay, cool. I see the buy signal. I see where the client's pain is. I see where the client, I see, boom, hammer that. Other leading things is just, I mean, when their calendar is not filled, like it's funny. I go to what's the top close? It's a guy who's just filled to the brim. You know, there's other things which are like constantly training and getting better at what's coming through. You watch game tape because you want to see what's not working, and then you implement what didn't work and get better. Those are all great indicators. Guy wants to learn, guy wants to get better. But I just like, for me, I stretch so far as number of calendar slots available to sit, and are they being sat?
I'm an average sales guy listening to this or salesperson listening to this. They do those two things, they're set.
Yeah, it's like if Steph Curry takes 10 shots on net and he gets 9 out of 10 in, or I take 150 shots on net, well, hopefully I'm going to get more than 9 in. You know, it's like, it's kind of like that. So I think that's super, super important. I think the next thing is you watch game tape and you get better. Those are kind of like leading indicators. Like I look at, so we have some superstar rep. We call it like, you know, the gold standard, the Sparks, you know, like the solve train, they're fucking the best, be the best. You know, obviously you guys have like some killers outshining us a little bit. But I look at this one guy, he's an absolute unit, you know, has literally crushed it. And I look at this other guy who came in brand new, came out of the car industry, never really sold. His first year selling solar, $6 million worth of solar sold. This year, he's already crushing it again. And I go, what's the difference? I mean, the guy just sits so many fucking meetings in a day. It hurts. And then from there, he watches the game tape and he goes, that didn't work. When I said that, client went, man. So now I'm not going to do that. Hopefully client will go, yay. That's it. And just implement. And then obviously you've got other things like they're organized, they follow up, they're consistent. Those are great indicators. But I go, dude, get your shots on net up. Like, holy moly, we're sitting here talking about your close rate, dude. You sat three appointments this week. Like, what do we do it?
Yeah, some people are clapping for their handful of appointments. Some people got full calendars and are going, how do I get better? How do I get better? How can I iterate? What could I have done different? I lost them on, wasn't paying attention to their pain point, like whatever it is, but they're iterating behind closed doors to get better and better and better, even though their calendars are full, even though they're out hunting every single other person. And yeah, I love that. That's the silent sort of killer in how they're built, what they're doing when nobody's looking.
Don't worry about your close rate when you're not full. You know what I mean? Fill your calendar and you naturally will close more. And then from there, when you have nothing else to exhaust and your calendar U is smashed, okay, great. Now let's focus on increasing close rate. Now let's focus on following up more. It's just like, dude, just smash that thing. I always tell the team, I'm like, blue calendar equals money. White calendar equals poverty. Okay? More money.
I love it. Quinn's loving this. This is Quinn's mantra every day to the crew, and it's truth. So good. And okay, we know sales reps are they can be great liars, especially to themselves, and we know this. What's the biggest lie that reps tell themselves, especially when they're not closing?
Fuck, I mean, leads are bad, you know? Leads are bad, opportunities are bad. It's like, okay, are they bad? Like, did you have 2 homeowners there? Yeah, I did. Okay, what was bad about it? They have a roof? They did? Okay, yeah. Was there a tree in front of it? No. Okay, what was bad about it? Did you prep beforehand, call the homeowner, pre-qualify them yourself? Did you pull appointments for it? Did you do anything to make the appointment better? Sales rep says appointments are bad. My first question, what did you do wrong? But obviously, I'm gonna level with them, but I go, okay, great. You got 5 appointments today, 3 of them are shit. Well, why are they in your calendar anyways? And why didn't you pre-qual them ahead of time and do that yourself? Why didn't you prep ahead? You didn't have usage when you showed up. Why didn't you get it? You know what I mean? Don't blame the setter, blame yourself. It's like, cool. Calendar's your sacred land. At the end of the day, the only person who's not making money when that's happening is you. And so if you have 5 appointments to your calendar and 3 of them are crap, lie you tell yourselves that the leads are bad. It's like, dude, I mean, sure, but okay, then why were they in your calendar? Like, why are you wasting your space? Why don't you get them out there and fill them with new stuff? Pull the good stuff forward and kill the bad stuff. That's one big thing for me. I feel like
It's like ruthless accountability to the appointment at all costs.
it's like it's your calendar. Don't blame the setters. I get it's bad, but then what you got to do is get it out and fill it with the good. If it actually truly is bad, put it up online. Is it a good roof? Okay, roof looks good, shading looks good. Cool. I'm going to confirm both decision makers, even though the setter did that, and so on. You know,
You still have somebody sitting in front of you as an opportunity. And for all of us, remember what that was like. Like to create an opportunity from zero is the hardest part. If you have somebody in front of you, half the work's done. And so either way, we should be optimistic about what happened if somebody's sitting directly in front of you. And so it's something to remember for sales folks.
I was watching game tape yesterday. We were watching game tape. We were diving deep into game tape, and it's like we're looking at this call. The lead is bad. Homeowners sitting here. They got their binder with their spouse, and they're taking notes while the sales rep is telling. And I'm like, this is a bad lead. Both decision makers, homeowners, taking notes, like 100% attention. So I just go, okay, great. This is not a lead problem. And obviously, we dive into the call and we go, well, I mean, obviously, this is a rough call. We need to work on some stuff. The biggest lie told by anyone is just that person's fault. And it's like, well, at the end of the day, once you realize everything falls on you. So
It's such a different attitude between people who have generated their own leads for a long enough period of time too, and people who get appointments booked on their calendar. Like you can just hear it, feel it, smell it from a mile away. Like I didn't
totally.
care. Sit down with me face to face, like you said. You're qualified. I don't care. I don't care if you say F you, get out of my house. Like as long as we are talking, that's one step closer to something being generated.
Oh,
But
so
people
true.
get greedy.
Oh, fuck. If it sucked, it's good practice. You know what I mean? You better go all in on this appointment because it's good practice. You know it's not going to close. We'll literally do the best objection handling you've ever done, the best disco, the best, ask for 4 closes, even though you know it's not going to close, but just get your shots on net. It's your time to practice.
You get paid later either way.
Exactly. Yeah. That's my viewpoint on that.
Okay, for you, Kane, maybe at what point did Solve and maybe did you guys pivot to sell a deal, make money to become a real scalable machine?
I think honestly, when the GHL went away, like that's literally it. It's like GHL went away. It's enough selling the government program and more selling you and the product and buying in 100% to the product and the brand. And so that's really it. So we used to do marketing under, we're all in on brand, customer experience, and being the best. And it's like, okay, great. So many solar opportunities in BC and Canada. We better be taking a shot on every single one of them. And so, about 6 months ago, we took it serious. We want to actually create like a real machine, just the rah-rah. So we want to really, be able to provide homeowners a good solution and at the same time build value. I also feel like it's, even for like a partnership like us, it's like, I feel like there's no value to you if we don't do that because it makes selling easier. It's harder to sell a company who's got no brand, no present, no clout, no rewards, no reviews, nothing. And so it's like by having that, you make it easier to sell. Like you get the company like Nike, you get the company like Coca-Cola, they just sell. It's just automatic because of the brand, because of what they've done. So it's like, okay, okay, that's pretty important. We gotta get that dialed in.
If someone executes properly in this space over the next 3 to 5 years, what does that actually turn into? Like if somebody really commits to this industry, commits to the work, they say, I'm not doing this for 3 months. I'm doing this for 3 to 5 years minimum. What could that actually turn into for them, in your opinion?
Like dollars and cents wise, or just everything?
It could be career, it could be money, it could be all of it. Sort of, coming from your perspective, if you're talking directly to that person who's kind of making a decision to do this for a long period of time, what could this career turn into for them?
Well, I mean, I go first off, you're buying into something that's growing. You're buying an industry new and growing. And so it's like where you are now is only going to grow as long as you grow yourself. That right there alone itself is one big thing. It's the opportunity to sell a product that you can feel good about. Sell a product where it's like, you're going to, it has a net positive impact at the end of the day. That's another huge thing. And then, I mean, obviously, it's like, I think that it's a space where you can make a tremendous amount of money, like, especially from a sales rep's perspective. Like, I've had sales reps make a good amount of money, like $30,000 paycheck in 2 weeks, and so it's like, there's the opportunity out there to make a lot of money and set yourself up for the rest of your life, not just financially, but skills wise. If you can learn how to actually sell, learn how to develop a team, learn how to take responsibility for others, you're not just learning soul, you're learning like life skills in itself. That's a big, big part of it. Definitely an exciting industry to be a part of. Obviously, you guys are a part of it as well. And so it's like, just wait, just the up curve is just happening. So
Yeah. Give you like a misconception. What's the biggest misconception costing people time and money right now in this space?
I mean, when I see other solar companies, I see them thinking we're in a down curve. And I go like, dude, you're so wrong. You're in the little dip in the big jump. You know what I mean? It's like, so they're not doubling down. Salespeople aren't doubling down. Companies I don't see are doubling down and taking it seriously. And they think, okay, good. It's a little tough time. I'm not going to really do it. For us, we're doubling. We're doubling marketing. We're doubling attention. It's not the time to slow down for us. So,
Yeah, we're going to close out with this every single time. Last question for my boy Kane. Why is the door still king?
great question. Great question. To me, the doors are king because it's an unlimited potential. Like, if there's 100,000 doors in an area, that's your potential. Not everyone's on social media. Not everyone's on ads. Not everyone's doing this. It's the cost of acquisition is zero. Is skill and effort. That's all it is. So if you're a high skill, high effort person, it's the place where you have unlimited potential. You get a guy who comes out and sells 20 deals on the doors compared to the guy who's waiting for his calendar to be filled based on lead gen. It's not even a close comparison. It's like the unlimited scalable model, especially if you're good at recruiting, especially if you're good at cultivating people. Dude, get 20 of your friends and you all hit a neighborhood and you book 50 appointments in a day. Like, what are we talking about?
Talk
So
about
I
practice. We're talking about practice, Kane. That's what we're talking about.
exactly. So I just think it's the land of it's just unlimited potential. And if you get good at the doors, man, you get good at life. You get good at talking to people, controlling people, facing your fears. It's definitely a scary thing to knock a door. What's gonna happen on the other side of that door? Well, they might yell at you. They might say no. All right, great, next. But it kind of teaches you life lessons. It's like, okay,
It
great,
does.
you're gonna get yelled at. People are gonna be upset.
Okay, well, again, Quinn and I want to say thank you. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the energy. Thank you for your mindset, the effort you put in. We love Solve. We love Kane. You're an absolute G. And yeah, thank you very much. That was fun today.
I mean, it's been a pleasure, fellas. Like, much love for you guys.